see we have some visitors down there. Do we have any visiting Rotarians or guests today? Keith Tucker.
So having a lovely white Carla here today and the finance director for the city of Sedro Woolley, Kelly. Mike.
Welcome.
We have a long lost member here, Ron Wilson, has shown up. First time here in a couple of years.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to club business. And we're going to move right into you, Nick. All right, let's move right into you. We do have the budget we're going to talk about later, but we have some special things to do today. I'm just going to turn it over to Nick and Team Office.
Yeah, we thought since it's Chief Tucker's last Rotary meeting in August before he retired, we'd have a little celebration and maybe a couple stories that anybody may have. Got a cake back here for you to do and to say thank you for all you've done in this community. And yeah, we can all give them a round of applause. I'll start with the first story. You guys can think of something. I was headed to play basketball in the morning and we played and I was going a little too fast after I wrote about 4:30 in the morning. And told me to slow down. And I remember I showed up at Rotary the next day and Lynn said, and Nick should have some happy thoughts. It sounds like he didn't have to have a ticket today. I'm a little too fast on the road. And I know it's right now. Any other stories that you want to share?
Hey, don't let that boy down for my money.
Yeah.
But I couldn't hold it for him. We wouldn't actually have it. So after I came back to the valley, we've been gone almost 3 decades. The very first person I met was then Lieutenant Tucker. We weren't in town 2 days and someone stole the generator off my porch, called the police, and Boomy was there. So it was a great welcome and they got it back and caught the bad guys. So it was a nice feeling to be welcomed to town by a police officer and also have successful results.
Yeah, Tucker was the first one to put my gin in cups in the back of his truck. We were only 5, and it was at the party that we had out here. But you know what? Ash still talks about it all the time, and I have it on video. So.
I'll just do 2. The first time I met them was at a assessment road, a physical agility test when he was in, I don't know if we've ever told this one, but Lynn is built for comfort but not for speed. And so we had to run a mile and a half, and he was coming in, you know, a young Navy guy, and he was fading fast. And I'll never forget, I mean, and they were sticklers about it. We went out there and ran beside him, go, 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 go. And like 1 second slower, he wouldn't be where he is today. And when Lynn was lieutenant, he always did such a great job with all the positions. He was a detective sergeant, a patrol sergeant, lieutenant, and part of his and training officers, firearms. There really isn't anything other than animal control that he didn't do in the police department. And so one day we were having a class meeting, a department get together in the morning. And so you get your tape, you take them off, and the Lieutenant Tucker, he spark texts and forgets to take the droves off and goes, boom, right in the middle of the whole community scatters. And so he was the person, so I told him, I said, Lynn, go in your office and write yourself up a written warning. Bring it out to me signed. He did, but he was always a great person to work with, great with everybody in the department. and the public. Sometimes you talk too much, sometimes you said too much, but, hopefully we kind of got that back in there. So, anyway, it's been a great time and enjoyed retiring.
So as it's been shared, Lynn is a man of few words. But I can tell you that I had many a time when I would go down to his office and it was usually just to ask one question. And yet we would go on and on and on. I had actually planned my schedule around my visits to Lynn's office. But I always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed working with him. He's been a great support. Sometimes maybe you don't know, but even in the position that I'm in, and maybe as a police, you're aware of this. Sometimes there are things that you receive from people that are frightening and a little bit unnerving. And I have to say that Lynn was actually a rock and he took care of me and he actually led me through some of these processes. I'm always amazed at what people say to other people, but Lynn was always really grateful. And I just want to take this moment. We're going to be doing this on the 31st too, and we know if I can do it. But I just want to say, Lynn, that it's really been amazing working with you. You have built that department, with the right hands at the right time. And between you and your staff that you have worked with, you brought that department up to a place that's really wonderful. The accommodations that happened last night, if any of you haven't watched our city council meetings, I would encourage you to watch last night, at least the first 15-20 minutes, just to get through the accommodations. You will see and hear some really incredible stories. And that comes from the leadership and the training that Lynn has provided that department. And it's also left us with a really fantastic new chief. He's somebody who's strong and he's really brilliant. He's got a good vision. And even though he's much different than Lynn, it's like the next step. And you had the foresight to see that. So I just want to say that he's a really great guy. I hope he comes around. They told him to come around. I don't know why he would want to come around, but I hope he does. And thank you.
I have to tell everybody how well Lynn is in weapons instruction. But there's a little prelude to that because I decided I was going to get a pistol, but I didn't know exactly what to do with it. So I asked Lynn if he could teach me a little bit about it. So we went up to some gravel pit up by daycare. And we stopped at the old daycare store. And I informed them that just be warned, I haven't fired a weapon in about 53 years since Vietnam. And I thought that got me thinking about what was the most important thing to tell me. And so when he was up there showing me how do you handle this thing, how you do this, all this, he had to tell me about 10 times so you keep your finger off the trigger.
So I've been on the Civil Service Board since like 1995. When did you start? 92. So I think he's the last person that's working for the police or the fire department didn't come through our Civil Service Board. So you got in without having ever seen you, but the rest of them did. But the point is that we're in such good shape right now because we had people like Lynn and Todd and all these guys. They get some great people, I can't remember their names, but that's why we're in such good shape is because we hired some really good police officers and we hired people that wanted to stay in Sedro Woolley, and I think that's the most important thing that we found was figure out people who want to stay in Sedro Woolley. Lynn's a prime example. He could have made a lot more money going a lot of other places, but he stuck it out. He retired here, and he'll probably always be in Sedro Woolley because of it. So thank you for what you did for this community. You don't know how much that hurts. I have one more policy change that we didn't learn the hard way. It's an interesting story. This guy brought a gun to the city council once and he held on to it. So anyway, they ordered to give it back to him. So he came and said, he's pretty ballsy guy. And anyway, we gave it both of them out there. And he was very angry. He gun through the trigger guards to knock them out. Anyway, he went out to the front, in front of the police car, got down hands and knees, and fevers spawed and zip the guy off. So he was letting my stand, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And he got up, don't do it, he turned around and walked away. And we breathed a sigh of relief and changed the policy instantly that we'll never release a gun and ammunition together. That was good. That was good.
So this is just a little bit about what it's like living with the police officer. So anyway, I was on my way to the gym one morning, and this has been probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, but fairly early in the morning. And I get pulled over by, not by him, but by a Burlington PD. And I can't remember if the first thing I did was call him or if he called me, because he actually, they were in a department meeting and he heard them running my name on the radio, and he's never let me live that down, so.
On behalf of the school district, I just want to thank Chief Tucker for being very supportive of our schools. I was the brand new superintendent last year, and you may have heard that school board meetings across the country last year were pretty volatile, and I feel very fortunate that our board meetings were pretty peaceful, largely because we have a partnership with Chief Tucker, very, very responsive. I remember calling you, you were at a conference out of state, and you were trying to eat your lunch in some, it wasn't even a restaurant, right? It was like it was like, well, I'm trying to eat my lunch and we find a spot where it's quiet. And he was just very, very responsive. So I felt a little spoiled. So I thought one day there was a potential threat at the high school. It was in December and I was very nervous about it. So I texted him at 5:45 a.m. and he gives me a hard time about that, but he actually responded at 6 a.m. It made me wait for about 15 minutes, but just really grateful for the partnership, for the support, and we are going to miss you very much and wish you all the best for your retirement.
Okay, so Doug telling stories on me. He didn't tell the whole story about the guy with the gun. The guy, after he loads his gun, we decide not to shoot him. He jumps on his bicycle and rides away. Not as, I guess, tough an exit as I think he had planned. It would have only been better if he had a little Lugo horn. Also, what he didn't say is when my taser inadvertently went off in the records room, I went in and offered to give myself a day off, and he goes, "No, I think you can sit in your office and just think about this for a while." You know, it's kind of like with your parents, they say, you know, I'm gonna chew your ass or beat it, and like, oh, please just beat me, just do it, please. No, he made me sit in my office. And also that kind and gentle guy that said he was encouraging me to cross the finish line in time. Also spent the first 2 years I was there, and I was the one who says, listen, just be happy you got the job. And that was it. But what, and in all reality, the success I've had in Sedro Woolley is because I've been surrounded by good people. There's 2 mayors that I've worked for in here. Keith was a good boss. Julie's been a great boss. And Doug was a great guy. He was one of my training officers from the very beginning and taught me how much fun we can have being a cop and chasing bad guys. And we go out and do busy work, and he goes, let's go chase some bad guys. Let's go hawk some warrants. And we go chase down bad guys. And that came from Doug. But that also, at that time, we were very short staffed, and Doug was working days and nights. And he would get done and it was, the bars would start winding down. And he would go home and lay on the couch and tell the dispatcher, said, just call me if he gets into anything too weird. And it was Sedro Woolley in the early 90s, so it was pretty much every night I think he got called out. But it was really surrounding myself with good people. My most wonderful wife, who's been by me the whole time. Kelly hasn't really known the time I haven't been cop. I remember her in the backseat of my little Porter, my little jump seat pickup going, Daddy, is that a scumbag? I don't know how that's gonna wash at school, but. And she also, Doug was poking fun at her in the office whenever she was really little. We walked into the office, he was poking fun at her or something. I think he wanted her to pet his pet cactus that he had in his office, and she just kicked him in the shins. And I don't know if either one of them remember that, but that was some funny shit. But I'm not gonna talk anymore. Thank you all for everything, I appreciate it. And I was trying to get everybody to stop talking about me.
Nick, I have a little bit to say too. So I would say that knowing Lynn for a while now, he's one of the most kind, generous, thoughtful, engaging, committed, responsive, confident, responsive people I know. When I was with the district, he was always happy to either run down a kid from Mary Purcell or Central, put Matt Gaelic in the back of the seat, just for to talk about, or go to the high school for crisis, as Mary talks about. And so, in terms of Rotary, you're very generous, putting your time and energy into making your woodworking bars and things like that for the benefit of Rotary and how much we do. So we just really appreciate everything that you've done for us, your knowledge, your skills, your work ethic, and your model for us, and the entire community here. So thank you, Chief. Hey, Nick, you're still on Target Barnes. Raffle. What do first? Raffle or raffles? Yes, Pete.
Anybody else want to? I forget something.
First number 24. Next, number 15. That's 35. Studying one.
President, $10. Well, the president.
You said, I back it on there.
Not that, president.
Oh. Budgets are on the table, we can put some money in there. The last number was me, I'm just gonna make some. Starting tomorrow, we're gonna keep the Lynn theme going for a little longer, and I wanna thank Joellen. She's Kate, balloons, the questions, she's the head of this anyway, so we can give her a round of applause. Yeah, secretive stuff. So just how many questions we got? 6, 8? We have enough tables. We'll just start with these guys. This is the easy one. Which branch of the military did Lynn serve? It's only a buck. We got it right. Second question. Well, you can't answer. And this was anybody who's paying attention. Well, the answer is already been given, but what year did we start? Sedro Woolley. That's a buck, good job, getting it right. Yeah. Here's one that's not as transparent. What's in the big bowl? What's in, he always brings a big pot, what's in it? Which one will we go with? It's only a buck, you got that one right too. He's one of how many siblings? That's you?
Well, I got one. There's brother. I think there were 3.
The answer I have is 8. That is incorrect. $2 for getting it wrong. Some people didn't know that Lynn taught a class at Skagit Valley College. What did he teach? $1 for getting it right. Art, cartoon drawing. I gave it that. I go like this. Those are all my questions you guys get on. The last one is, when you were a kid, what did you want to be? Fire.
I want to be an army guy who likes sea canyon.
Is that right? All right. That was it. Thanks for playing. Happy bucks. Happy bucks.
I have a happy $20 because this summer it's been 15-year anniversary of joining Rotary. And then last week was my 25th anniversary at the Senior Center.
Got a happy 5. I'm about to follow Mayor Johnson out to the new Skagit County Behavioral Health Center for a ribbon cutting. So I'm thrilled that that's finally going to be real. We've been waiting a long time, and it's just a start. It's the evaluation treatment portion, but there's 3 other phases that we have planned. So it's exciting news.
Thank you, Pete, for putting that on your agenda and implementing the process. It's great.
Well, I got a couple of happy bucks there. I think Monday to head to North Carolina. My son's getting married the week Saturday, so we're absolutely thrilled. I'll have more happy bucks when we get back. But it's only about 97 degrees and 90% humidity, so not looking forward to that.
So I'm not sure where Marion's at, so I'm going to do a bit of thunder here. Today was the kickoff. We all set a kickoff for the school district, and we've got the opportunity to give the welcome address on behalf of the board. That's not the reason I'm happy. The reason I'm happy
is I didn't actually go after Miriam because she's just a phenomenal speaker, and anything I would have said after that would have been garbage. But excited about this new year, excited about the energy that we have going into this school year. It's nice to be back. And then also another point, one of the presentations was on safety. So just happy that our deep roots with the local law enforcement are just going to continue to grow. And I'm very grateful for
the relationship that we have, and the fact that we're doing this.
Five because my dad filled me a basketball court.
Got a happy 20. Thank you for this. Appreciate it. And thank you, Doug, for editing something I could have said. And thank goodness my wife doesn't hold me accountable for everything I've done.
While I'm walking to Chad, I threw some happy bucks in. Thank you for Team August. I I've been out of town unexpectedly a bit this month, and thanks to everybody who helped out.
All right, I got some happy bucks. As a lot of you know, I was presented with an opportunity a few weeks ago to change brokerages and take a leadership position. So I took that opportunity. I'll still be buy and sell houses, but I'm also going to be managing the next home office in November.
I have sort of a mixed emotion, $20. Today happens to be the 16th anniversary of my 39th anniversary.
Happy $20. I want to celebrate the fact that our teachers are back today. We have our staff kickoff, and we heard from Vice President Johnson, who spoke on behalf of the board to welcome our staff back. So it went really well. Just really excited about that. And I also want to thank Rotary for Reading and Resources Under the Lights for an inaugural event. It was a massive success, and Rotary made it happen. A lot of our kids, I think Ruth maybe already thanked all of you for your support, but we gave away 400 backpacks and over 300 free books. So we're giving out so lots of happy students and families. So thank you.
Okay, Nick, I have a happy $10. We had to do a quick work party down at Clear Lake last week, and we had quite a few step up and go down and do that for Jay Folsom down at his new place down there. So thanks, Mike and Christine and Joelle. And how long did you guys stay after we left?
Not very much.
Okay.
Whatever we spent the next night was great.
Okay, good. Yeah, and Daryl was there, and Nathan was there, and who else did I miss? Anyway. Oh, Keith was there. Thank you. And Mike. So it was we got it done in about 2 hours, and Mike had his trailer down there. We cut trees and brush and moved a fence around and painted and did all kinds of stuff. So thank you for that. Made us look good. Okay, and on your tables are the second week of the new members. So take a look at the new members. That's for Chris Schaffner. Take a look at that. And then I'm going to bring Steve up. He's going to walk us through the budget. But as he's coming up, on your table is a list of projects that have been proposed. And I talked a little bit about prioritizing those projects. And after a conversation with Bill today, let's make sure that we fill it out 1 high, 13 low, put all the numbers on there, because if you don't put the numbers on there, I agree with him that it could be skewed. So then we'll take it to the board and for consideration after that. If you didn't get one of those prioritizations, I did send an email out last night. You can print it off there and get it to us. And if there's any questions, I think Miriam had a quick description of the project down at Big Lake. And if we can get a microphone to Miriam, then we can go there, and then I'm going to turn it over to Steve. I ran out of forms. You can print one off the email. I can bring it to you next week.
Very supportive of our schools over the years, and the school district wanted to gesture appreciation, gratitude, wanted to construct an open classroom Big Lake Elementary. I don't think that there is anything at all that we can do as a school district to fully pay our gratitude for the days I think this is one small gesture, and it's something that will truly enrich the learning experience for our students and allow us to leverage the property that we have in a big way. But still, in the very stages, like I said, we want to improve the church today. I wanted to share some information and for support of Rotary. You have our support listed too. All of their complaints. And to have a nice classroom would be to all schools throughout the district to be able to provide services and
Ready? Okay, on your table, you can see all the finances for the new year that we've proposed and the board has passed. As you can see, we estimated about 205,000 for the auction last May. So that's kind of what we're working with. And we did have some prior year money. Fortunately, we didn't pay for the YMCA last year like we were going to because the Janicki Playfields was a little iffy there with that extra bill. So we're going to pay that this year. And as you go down, you'll see some miscellaneous expenses. And then this year was a really good year for scholarships. Last year, we only made about 32,000, but we paid 40,000. This year, we were going to pay 48,000. So we had a good year. And then we're going to do about 20,000 for World Understanding international projects, which is usually we do about 10% of what the auction does. And these are all just general headings. There's subheadings under these also. So if you don't see something there, it's probably under there. Youth is going to be about 10,000. And of course, dictionaries are pretty much half of that. But so anybody have any questions?
So see, Steve, this is the Rotary Foundation budget that you're talking
Foundation
about. So I
budget,
want to make
sorry.
sure that we designate, and we're clear about that. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. And we got to do one more for the club. These are just general estimates of what we will be bringing in for the fines and the membership dues and the raffle. So that's kind of what we look at, about 36,000 in revenue for the year. And pretty much the expenses are mostly your fun stuff, your barbecues and installations and stuff like that. Let's see here. We do have the big payments are from out of the membership dues. As you can see there, we'll pay about 9,000 international, and then we pay one payment of 4,000 to the District 50/50. So that's where most of your membership dues go. So, and that's all there is for the club. Any questions on that?
And I think maybe all things considered, Might ask the board to consider that.
We will consider that. Okay. Any other questions?
Steve, just to clarify, the club budget, it's pretty close to being in line to what it has been in the past years. There is any big differences from year to year?
No, they didn't spend as much on the Christmas party last year, so I bumped that down a little bit, but we have a little extra money, but this is pretty close to what we spend every year. So.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the club budget? Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Steve, thank you and great job. All right, that takes us down to the end of club business. Is there anything on the agenda that, or any club business out there that anybody has that would like to talk about before I close the meeting? Christine, you looked at me funny. Do you have something? No, you're good. Okay. I want those. Yeah. So you can just leave them on your table, turn them upside down, or drop them off here. I'll collect them. How many people didn't get one, didn't fill one out? Okay. I'll bring a few next week so we can fill those out and get them ready for our board meeting coming up in September. So thank you for for filling those out. I want to thank Kelly, Ron, and Nathan for being here. Did Kelly leave? I want to give her a little kudos. She was a great auditor when she was with the auditing program there at the school district. So we saw her several years. She made us stay on our toes. So I appreciated that. And with that, thank you, Team August. Paula. The barbecue is Chuck. September 8th, and the golf tournament is right after that is the 15th. All right. Is there anything else? Thank you for attending the greatest Rotary Club in the universe meeting.